What's going on, guys? So I've been getting a lot of conversations in the streams when I'm live on twitch.tv/barricade that barbarians are feeling rage-starved and they really don't know how to keep that fury down so they can enjoy the gameplay more. And this video is going to try to solve that for you, but the number one rule that I'm kind of learning as I'm enjoying Diablo IV as a barbarian is that it gets a lot easier the higher level you are, and that's because of many different factors, the Paragon board, the gear that you have, and things of that nature. So let's figure out what's going on and what we can do to augment that experience to be better for us. So check it out. Whirlwind is your core skill in the game, right? Whenever you hit an enemy with Whirlwind, you're going to generate 1 Fury, which is your resource. Or you're going to generate 4 Fury whenever you hit an Elite. Awesome. Whenever we have a shout activated, like Rallying Cry, all of our resource generation is going to go up as well. So we're maxing that out. And the build that I'm using here will be linked in the description below, so you can review all these decisions and see what's up. So we're going to have Rallying Cry, we're going to have Enhanced Rallying Cry, so we get Unstoppable, and then Tactical Rallying Cry gives us 20 Fury and grants an additional 20 additional resource gen when it's up. So we shout, and then while we have shouts active, we then go ahead and augment that. Remember, we're hitting things generating Fury, we're hitting Elites generating 4 Fury. And the cost of Whirlwind, if you missed it, is, let's see, Fury cost is 39 per second, so it goes a lot. Because in this build, we are using Unbridled Rage, which gives us 135% damage multiplier, but it costs twice as much Fury. You're going to want this, and you're going to want to go Whirlwind when you can get access to this, in my opinion. So let's check this out. We know what the build is. We're a shout build. We're also using, again, Wrath of the Berserker. And there's a couple different things we can use to get crit. I'm not going to break down the skills. That's not important. What's important is how do you play it and what can we do to fix it. So let's check this out. As far as the gear goes, I want you to look at this. On your helmet, try to get cooldown reduction. That's the #1 stat for you, is cooldown reduction. Cooling, or making sure that your shouts come up as fast as possible. The higher that roll, the more smooth your gameplay is going to be. So look for that on your helmet. And your necklace, you'll see mine isn't all that great. My cooldown reduction is 5.8 out of a possible 11 on this 666 clean number amulet. So I want to get as much cooldown reduction as I can. If you've got good cooldown reduction, the next thing I want you to look at is rings. The Bold Chieftain's Ring and the Band of Echoing Fury. Echoing Fury is going to give you Fury for each second that a shout is active. So in this case, it's 2 Fury for each shout that's active. This thing stacks. So if you happen to be lucky and you get a 4 Fury per second per shout, you're getting 12 Fury a second from just your shouts. And then you're hitting, so you're generating more. That's fantastic. What this ring does, even though it's nerfed as Bold Chieftains, is it brings the cooldown of your shouts even lower. So you're shouting around monsters, you're getting all kinds of reduction on that. That's ideal. That's where it starts for you. That's where it starts for you. Now, when you're playing Whirlwind, you don't want to be attacking a couple targets at a time. You want to be kind of like going through the waves of conversations and combat and pulling monsters together, then hitting them all. This way, you're not being deprived of your fury as frequently. And you'll see here, we're just kind of slamming through a myriad of monsters, and we're getting through it, and we're hitting many times. And we're getting all that fury, we're hitting elites, it's all good. That's how you want to play the class. That helps. Now, if you realize that you're in combat and you're not doing a lot of damage, this is sort of secondary to Fury. You don't got to be spinning as long if you're hitting hard. So, in terms of doing good damage on this character, I want you to try and focus on these things for your gear. Critical strike, chance, and damage. So critical strike damage, mine's at 322, and I want critical strike, and then I want vulnerability damage. I want critical strike damage and vulnerability damage. And then as a third, if you can get it on your weapons, kind of like this, I want to try and get damage to close enemies, okay? So, critical strike damage, vulnerable damage, damage to close. Those are the 3 things we're trying to hit. If you can get that, that's great. There's other things you can get gear-wise, like you should be using, a lot of people are saying that you should use this, the Rage of Harrogath chest piece. Now, I don't have that. If you don't have that either, you can use this. This is the obedience aspect that'll reduce damage to you while you're spinning around so that you don't die. I would recommend that you move into rubies on your armor to give you more health so you can stay alive in tempestuous situations. I was lucky enough to hit Gores. If you don't hit the Gores, it's not the end of the world. It just gives you a higher rank of Whirlwind, and you want that Whirlwind as high as you can. Mine's currently 9, and I'm working on getting that higher if I can. Okay, cool, awesome. So, rubies in the armor, emeralds on the weapon, because emeralds give us critical strike damage to vulnerable enemies. We're going to make things vulnerable, but that's not the purpose of the video, but that's what the gems are going to do for you. And then on your jewelry, you want to use skulls because it gives you increased armor, making you take less damage. So for generating fury, cooldown reduction, helmet and amulet, fury cost reduction, or generating fury on the rings. Awesome. Now let's say you're level 50 plus. What do you do? Let's check out the Paragon board for a second, okay? And again, this whole build will be linked in the description of the video. For the starter board, there's many Paragon choices you could choose. that you want to go with, and there's also many glyphs. I'm going to recommend that you choose Wrath. Wrath is going to give you increased critical strike damage with Whirlwind because it's your core skill, but skills that critically strike generate 3 Fury. And I roughly have about 72% critical strike with the build at the moment, so that's nice, and I'm trying to get that number up as well. So I'd recommend you go with Wrath, okay? On the second board that you take, in this case it's Weapon Master, you can put in Martial. You really don't care too much about anything other than what Martial says is that additional bonus. After casting a shout skill, the active cooldown of every other shout skill is reduced by 1.2 seconds. So shouting reduces the cooldown time of other shouts. And the reason my gameplay is a little bit smooth is because I'm higher level than maybe where you are. And if you're higher level than me, then awesome, you already know what's up. But as we get more and more points in the Paragon board and we start to excel our character into the end game by getting higher level, I'm currently level 80 as they're recording this video, I get to get nodes like Warbringer, which is going to give me Fortify, which lets me do more damage. But Fortify is something I work to by also getting these nodes like Hungering Fury, where I get Fury on kill. So now I'm getting Fury while I hit you, I'm getting Fury while I kill things, and it's non-stop. I also get additional Fury, which helps in other ways too. But for Fury generation, again, one last time, cooldown reduction on the helmet and amulet, generate Fury on the rings, and get in there and pull clusters of monsters and pop that potion and make sure your shouts are up. If you can get these things, I promise you your Fury is not going to be nearly as bad. And try to always look at vendors for weapons too, because they could sell something that gives you critical strike damage, vulnerability damage, critical strike chance, and then damage to close. Hit those things and you're really good. I would recommend, as a free little damage bonus while you're playing the character, try to get swords. Swords just have a implicit critical strike damage roll. That's that number above that line before all the affixes of the weapon are applied. So I hope this video helps you enjoy the Barbarian. I know it can be a slog, it can be a pain in the ass. If you're around level 40 to 60, it's just tough. The monsters aren't easy to kill, you're moving into World Tier 3, and it gets tough. But if you have these rules or these guides to follow, your spin to win strategy will actually come through really nicely. Trust me, I've done it, and here we're on the other side of that conversation, literally whooping the ass of demons, together in Sanctuary and beyond. Much love to you guys, hope this video helps, and I'll catch you on the next one.